Jeez!
Absolute idiot.
You missed that conversation, but all you hear is jeez.
Jeez Louise, welcome back.
Oh, fuck it, I'm pre-ordering this. Oh, 30. Swear count. 30.
Another one. Get it out of the way early.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome back to Nerd Bible Podcast episode. What one are we on now? On 36?
30. Hang on, I could check the YouTube channel. What we've uploaded on, I think 37 was the last one.
35 was the last one.
Is
35.
35, yeah, so this is 36.
So 36. Hello, welcome.
0.5. What?
Okay, so it's that time of your life when you come back, lend us your ear holes so we can speak to you.
Yes, hello.
About random nonsensical crap.
But soon you won't just be able to hear us.
Oh yes,
we're going to the next level.
How can I tell us? Tell the fans.
Well, instead of hearing us with your wonderful ears and audio receptors, now your eyes will have a visual contact with us. You know,
your visual receptors will be needed.
They will be activated. Yeah, you'll be able to see us soon in an upcoming little secret project thingy. Sketch, whatever you want to call it.
We're doing sketches now. Sketches are cool.
Yeah, they rate us, we rate them.
Yeah.
Coming soon to a place near you.
Hopefully next week.
Just to tease you.
Ooh, welcome. Yeah, be able to see our eyes, our ears, our faces, hear our voices, see what we do, what we look like.
Yeah.
Bit of an intro. And then everyone's going to have their own sketch.
Damn
Matt's
right.
one's done. Your one's
Mine's
going to be...
somehow got to happen.
Your one is the most ambitious. My one looks difficult, but it's just like...
What is your sketch? What?
That scene that I played to Matt,
The...
you know when the song's playing and he's in the wheelchair, yeah.
That
I just need a set for. Everything else, like, that's easy to film, but yours actually is going to take time and preparation and a lot of...
Somehow.
A lot of lycra.
Somehow do it. Oh, yeah,
A lot of lycra. But
Sunflower oil.
until that day comes...
Sunflower oil.
You'll just have to put up with listening to our voices.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
That's alright.
Yes.
Don't know why I'm apologising. You have a producer credit now, so it's fine.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is cool when you're part of this team. Okay. It's week 3 of 7 seasons in 7 weeks. This is the last season. Yeah. This is week 3 of GOT. And this is the last season that you remember. So from next week, it's new to you.
I actually hopped onto the bandwagon this week. I didn't really need to recap season 1. Remembered that. Season 2, I kind of didn't, but season 3 kind of tells you what happens in 2. And then, yeah, this week I've revisited Westeros and Essos and all the other characters and rubbish, and I loved it. Each and every second.
So we'll be talking about that as our main thing, season 3. We also saw a small indie film this week, didn't we? Captain Marvel. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh no,
I've heard.
I thought it was Marvel. I thought it was Marvel.
Captain Marvel by Marvel Studios.
Marvel, yeah, the cheap knockoff of Marvel.
Yeah. So we talk about that, but it's some quick newsy tidbits. Connor, you got anything? You said you read a few bits of crap.
Oh great! Now the crap's pressuring me. On top of my head,
because you were reading stuff, you're like, I mentioned this. I mentioned Sony.
Well, the only thing I can really think of is that Sony have come out, the Sony universe of Marvel films, whatever the rubbish name for it is. It ain't exactly MCU. They've said that they've got 8 years worth of planning and like scripts and stuff they want to use, but it's not all just going to be filmed. It's going to be TV shows as well.
Oh, what have they got planned? Oops. What have they got planned?
Copyrighted sound for one. They haven't actually said names. That is literally all they've literally just come out and said, yeah, we've got 8 years worth of content. Just come and see us soon and, we'll do stuff. But all we know is that Venom 2 is likely, and then Morbius
there's going to be Carnage.
Ba-doom-tish.
Funny story, Mark.
No, all we know is Venom 2 with Carnage, if it isn't, and what they're doing. And then Morbius.
Morbius the living vampire.
Which I wouldn't pick for a spin-off film.
Then aren't they doing a Black Cat and Silver Sable story as well?
Then that got canned, but then I thought they were doing a Black Cat solo film.
Yeah. A Black Cat and Han Solo film.
A Black Cat and Han Solo 2.
A
Sony War story.
A Sony story.
A Sony story.
Sony, a Spider-Man story. Oh, well.
into the Sonyverse.
Into the Sonyverse. Well, because apparently they want spin-offs. Some of the spin-offs will be based on that. But as long as they don't, mess up the golden child that is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which comes out on Blu-ray next week. It's the 18th or something like that, I think.
19th.
19th.
Ooh, and to pre-order
Next Tuesday.
To pre-order it's like £36 for a 4K just to pre-order.
Must have gone up. It does that thing because it's like when there's a high demand for something, the price will go up. It would normally be
ridiculous.
It would be 26 like all the new ones normally are. I'm paying £36. I love that film, but I'm not paying that much.
Exactly.
It goes
rotten.
Rotten Tomatoes. Ha ha ha.
It is filthy. How comes it was raised by an extra tenner?
I know.
It's stupid.
Well, that's Brexit for you. 2 weeks and we still don't have a deal. Should we talk about a trailer that dropped today?
Trailer?
Yeah.
What do you mean by a trailer, George?
I mean, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes? What does it take? Tell me. I don't know.
So, Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
We are excited for.
Out of nowhere, dropped a trailer.
Yeah, just literally.
Why?
It's like, the trailer's dropped. Matt, for the not Matt. I'm so sorry. Connor, do you want to explain to the audience?
What said trailer was about?
Yeah, what happens in the trailer of Marvel's Avengers Endgame?
Marvel's Endgame. Well, there's a lot of
boy meets girl.
No, there's just a lot of epic monologuing and
shots from previous films.
Yeah, going back to World War II, going back to Iron Man 1 Mark 1, like back when he was in like Iran or
Afghanistan.
He was in Afghanistan, yeah. Afghanistan.
Feels like 1,000 years ago since I crawled out of the
cave. Isn't Hulk in it as well in the flashback?
I don't think that's a good point. I don't think I saw Hulk footage in that bit.
But yeah, so there's black and white flashbacky shots where each individual character gets their own little brief monologue, and it's like, look at where we started.
We started from the
bottom, and now we're here. It's all or nothing, and this is the end game, folks. That's kind of the vibe they're going for. They say it's Tony Stark narrating it, making it epic, giving some epic speech monologue, the whole trailer. But then you get about, say, halfway through it, you get some new footage of the actual film. Yeah. You see bearded Steve Rogers, you see shaven Steve Rogers, you see Black Widow, you see Hawkeye in his purple rubbish suit, then you see the new and improved Ronin, hopefully going to do something. I doubt it very much, but you see them, like, most of the original crew surviving in red and white suits, which George filled me in.
They walk through the Avengers facility hangar, all in their previously spoiled quantum suits.
Yeah, were they spoiled? What, red and white suits?
Yeah, they were because they were on the toy range.
Yeah, I didn't look really. I did read something. I just didn't see it. Okay. So quantum realm, time travel confirmed. And then it ends up with.
It ends with because they're all saying, we've got to change it. Like, for everyone that's not in this room, you see shots of Ant-Man looking at missing posters. You see Thor with his hammer, with Stormbreaker. You see all these things happening, and then they're all saying whatever it takes. They go it to people that are not in this room to try and do what they can to bring everyone back. You see Rocket in his comic accurate costume on War Machine, and then just before, you see him walk through the hangar, that you just cut back to Tony Stark back in the spaceship, and he just looks at the camera and goes, as everyone said, whatever it takes, and he just goes, whatever it takes, and then the final shot of them all walking through, including Tony Stark walking through the Avengers facility, marching towards the end game. And then there is the little post-trailer scene with Thor and Captain Marvel. Where he puts out his hand to summon Stormbreaker and just looks at her and goes, I like this one. So, yeah. That is said trailer. Out of nowhere. It looks amazing. I can't wait. People who don't care about Marvel, I've messaged them and shared the trailer with them. They said they can't wait. No one can wait. My mum's mum can't wait. Your mum's mum can't wait. You mean your nan? Me nan can't wait. Everyone can wait. It doesn't matter who can't wait. It doesn't matter what you're saying. If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
what the Feige is something. I can't insert whatever there. But Kevin Feige, you the man.
He is the man. He is like man. This is, and there's also I don't know who it is, like what character it is, and it says, and they say sometimes the best way to move on is to start again, which is very meta for the era.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And as you know, week by week, we've sort of said our thoughts on how it should end and what we think could happen. But like George's quote just then, let's hope it does do a little restart.
Well, it's going to be like, as we know, this is the end of this chapter of the MCU. It's going to be completely different going forward. So hopefully,
who knows what will happen?
Who knows, eh? Who knows? But hopefully, it is. Hopefully, it's done well. We are obviously looking forward to this film. So
after seeing 21 films, they've already decided to. So
Avengers, and we also saw the poster, which was very much like the ensemble piece that was the Infinity War poster.
It was,
but dark purple for the Endgame logo, and Bruce Banner's actually on it, not as the Hulk, just as Bruce Banner. Yeah, Ant-Man's now on it. There's Rocket, there's War Machine, who seems that he's going to be playing a major part because there's been a lot of him in the promo. I'm excited. I cannot wait. And obviously Captain Marvel featured on the poster, and
Doctor Strange, was he on it?
No, because he died in Infinity War. I think he'll be a big player in the finale, because I think the three powerful ones that are going to take him down, like Thanos down. I think it's going to be because we assume it's time travel and they've resurrected me, but it's going to be Thor because he's OP as hell now with Stormbreaker. Iron Man, I don't think.
No.
I think because I think he'll already have sacrificed himself by then. Captain Marvel, because she is, as we saw in the film that we're going to talk about,
OP.
Bloody powerful.
She's confirmed to be the most powerful person in the whole MCU. Yeah.
And I think if she's resurrected Scarlet Witch, because she is, she held Thanos back with one hand, and Thanos was using the Space Stone to try and move through her beam, and still couldn't when she was destroying Vision. Oh, and I think Doctor Strange may be about there, depending if he's brought back before then. But hey, now is not the time to wonder, because
give it 3 weeks time.
Yes, April 26th. Are you looking forward to it? It's a silly question, but
please, have you been living under a rock?
Please. So obviously can't wait for this bloody movie. So should we talk about? Segue on to
the opposite. Something we're not looking forward to.
No. Should we talk about Captain Marvel?
Yeah, Marvel and Brie Larson and
yes. So we saw the Captain Marvel is a 2019 motion picture. Brought out by made by Marvel Studios. It's the 21st film in the MCU, which is scary.
The current
up-to-date MCU, Phase 3, penultimate film in Phase 3.
Ooh.
It stars Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, Clark Gregg.
Name Agent Coulson, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Clark Gregg. Said that already. Idiot.
Fucking idiot.
Just trying to go through the characters. Jude Law. Lee Pace.
I can't remember their names.
I can't remember the woman that plays
a friend.
Mary Rambo.
Yeah, I can't think.
Something.
Yes, people.
Yes, people are in it.
Mm-hmm. Believe it or not.
The plot, Connor. Oh, so spoilers. Because we're going to go straight in. Yeah. If you haven't seen Captain Marvel, go and see it.
Get out of this video.
We're going to go. Okay, bye.
We'll just go away.
You've seen it twice.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it 3 times.
Damn.
We're going to go through the plot and talk about what we thought of it, spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Just a brief overview if you want to check out now, before you've seen the film. It's really good. Surprisingly good for me. I went in with lowered expectations, but
did you?
Yeah.
I was the one with the lower expectations. I thought you were going to be like, it's good because it's Marvel. Let's do this. I was sort of sitting there thinking, what are we actually watching? Because the film at the beginning, it takes past the first 20 minutes to get into it. But as soon as she sort of arrives on Earth, that's when to me the film picks up.
Yeah.
Like the first.
I know. Yeah. I was sort of I was skeptical of it just because it's it's not going to be as good as. Well, it's a film that's coming out before Endgame, so you know it's not.
Oh,
gonna,
no, yeah.
It's not going to be anything deep and like thingy. It's going to be more of the Ant-Man and the Wasp, like palate cleanser sort of thing, which I'm fine with. Like, so going into it, it was like. I was like, yeah, I was really bothered because I sort of, for this one, I sort of stayed away really from seeing trailers and TV spots and that. So I was just sort of trying to go in it as fresh as I could just for enjoyment. And I come out, you know, enjoying it a hell of a lot. I really like this movie. So, yeah, if you wanted spoiler-free thoughts, if you're a Marvel fan, you're going to see it. If you're a fan of film, it's great. It does feel like an old sort of like buddy cop sort of like road trip kind of movie from space. So I think that's the best way you can sort of sum it up.
I like it as well because comparing it to like Wonder Woman for a bit of it doesn't feel politically correct as well.
It doesn't feel like it's trying too hard at all.
No, it literally feels like a woman with a hero in it who turns out to be a girl. It's not this whole female uprising like, but PC.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel political at all. You can just sit there, enjoy it, and just embrace her for who she is.
I know there have been comments that Brie Larson has made about things. I haven't read.
She? Well, like
I don't know. No, apparently, no. There's comments that she's made about something, and that's annoyed a lot of people. And plus, people are annoyed that she's a woman.
Really? Oh God.
So.
Internet.
I'm not gonna sort of go into that because I don't know the ins and outs. So it would be stupid of me to talk about it.
No, but
so I'm just gonna say, if you're boycotting it just because she's a woman and it's like too much thing, then you're an idiot. The only way that women are going to get more prominent roles and leading roles is
by diversity.
Is by it just happening, and it becomes more and more, and then it becomes normal. Just like the same it is with with like what happened with Black Panther. Like the only reason that was so sort of like revered was because it doesn't really happen a lot. No. Whereas if it happened more and more, then it becomes normal. No one would bat an eye because I think that's just normal, which is how it should be. Everyone should be on a level playing field.
Quality.
Before we get to PC, so go and see Captain Marvel.
Yes, really just see it.
Should we get into spoilers?
Yes.
Connor.
Guys, you've had your chance.
Okay, so Nick Fury is a Skrull.
Wait, what?
Can you imagine the people that are stuck around for that bit and they're just like, oh my god, is he? No, he's not.
My god.
The plot of Captain Marvel 2019, Connor, go.
Well.
Girl meets boy.
Exactly, girl meets boy.
Boy meets girl.
Well, no, girl meets space rocket and goes into space and has a life on Earth from before. But the film, just to sort of kickstart, the film isn't a normal origin story. You don't get her as a normal civilian getting bit by a spider and then going, oh look, I got powers. This film
starts off with her having no powers, doesn't it?
It does. It starts off with her powers, only for then the film to go, this is her life, then go back to her having powers, then this is her life, and all this, back and forthiness and stuff.
Yes.
Until she arrives, crash lands on Earth.
You've skipped out a hell of a lot of plot.
I've just said it goes back and forth. You don't really get plot. You just get flashback. Flashback.
Okay, well, we've missed out. You're giving your basic overview. We know. I am giving my overview. Yeah, we know how we do it. Okay, so it actually starts off with an I should be to Stan Lee with the normal Marvel Studios logo replaced instead of which is nice. Yeah. Instead of the MCU characters.
It won't be a one-off.
It's then just all Stan and like footage of Stan and pictures of Stan, and then after the Studios logo fades out, it says "Thank you, Stan," which we said would be a great way to incorporate him into future films if you just had him as the...
And lo and behold, we made it happen.
Yeah, we singled Kevin Feige obviously listens to this.
As big-headed as that might sound, we made it happen. And that can prove that anyone can make a change.
Yes, especially pasty shit.
For the greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good.
So it starts off, Carol Danvers, you're seeing an explosion in slow motion. Blue energy. You're seeing her with blue blood. You're wondering what's happening.
I seriously thought it was Endgame. That beginning bit. I thought it was Endgame. I literally thought explosions and dust.
Imagine if they had just got into that. She was just having a premonition of Endgame. That was so cool. So she's seeing an explosion, and then she wakes up. It's a dream. She's she's on Hala, the
Kree
homeworld run by by an AI.
Supreme intelligence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No.
Thank you for remembering the name. They use the titles from Guardians.
It's the Guardians font.
Yeah, the font. So because the Kree are alluded to in Guardians, because obviously Ronan, because he is a Kree, he talks about the Kree, but you don't really get an insight into them and their culture sort of thing. You just see him, being a bit of an arse.
As he is.
Yeah, as he is in this film as well, just without the
makeup.
Yeah, doesn't have all the like weird war paint thing.
Tribal stuff.
So you sort of don't really need to you don't even really need to see Guardians.
No,
that's just the sort of like the main link. It's like
if you're a nerd, you'll point it out and be like, "Oh, look, I know where that's from."
Yeah, like
one of them.
The space bits is more of a link to that.
Mm-hmm.
For anything else, if you're a little bit lost, it's like this is sort of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on Howard. She goes to Jude Law's room, and they fight like sort of like fight practice while talking about the dream.
What is Jude Law's name?
Yon-Rogg.
Yon-Rogg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because everyone thought he was playing Marvel. Like that's what he was originally credited as, which was cool. So it was a bit of a deception for later.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you know in the comics like who Yon-Rogg is.
I see. Okay.
That's why I saw the thing at the end. I knew that was coming. Just because it's like that whole team is just villains from Captain Marvel.
Are they the Nova Corps then?
No.
What is the name of
the Kree Space Force.
They're just a great. Okay, well I thought they were.
They're like the mercenaries sort of.
See, I thought they were like an evil Nova Corps group.
No, Nova will come into it.
Yeah,
Nova's coming soon, definitely.
Phase
I want Nova and Adam Warlock. That's what I want from Phase 4.
Well, they kind of already teased that in Guardians 2.
I should call him Adam. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked like we always do. So she's got her glowy hands, and he said like control it. And then like she beats him up. She like shoots him with the beam. And she has to go and see the Supreme Intelligence. That's what you said it was called, right?
Yeah, Supreme. Yeah.
Which takes the form of someone like it's personal to you, isn't it? It's like someone that you trust or have a connection with.
Yeah.
She has to go there because she's in trouble with, shooting space lasers.
Being an evil time.
It says that he just wants, and Yon-Rogg says that she just wants her to be the best version of herself. Because in time she'll learn, blah blah blah. Standard. Great power comes great responsibility. Bollocks. She goes to see the Supreme Intelligence, and she sees a woman that she says, "I don't know who this person was to me," but she sees her in the dream. So basically, the dream where she's in an explosion, sees a woman and sees a Skrull shooting at her.
Yeah.
So the woman from that is the person that she sees when she sees the Supreme Intelligence, who tells her she needs to master herself, needs to learn to control her powers.
Balance of the Force.
Because what is given can be taken away, because she's got a chip that sort of stabilises her powers. And it's alluded to that it gives, like, the powers come from that, but as we learn later, they don't. Then the Kree Star Force, made up of Yon-Rogg, she's not Captain Marvel, she's known as Veers. Yon-Rogg, Korag, the blue one, the other blue one that looks like it's from The Witcher,
Smurf,
and the assassin lady, and they go to a planet called Torfa. Because I'm trying to remember as much as I can. Because basically
it was a confusing for a little bit, like the names.
No, I think like you said, like it lends itself to a second viewing.
Yeah, if you sit there first time, and even kids, if they sit there the first time and you absolutely get everything, and you're smart, you're a smart cookie.
Yeah. The Skrulls are basically shapeshifting aliens that the Kree are fighting. So on a planet called Torfa, they've apparently infiltrated. They're trying to get a spy for the Kree and get his information out of his head. So they go there to try and search and rescue, get him out. Like no questions asked. They find it's an ambush, that all the people there are Skrulls. Like transformed, kill a bunch, but turns out Solar, the agent that they've come to, get out, there's a Skrull, and shooks Captain Marvel, knocks her out, and then we wake up in. I think I really like this way they do the thingy sequence. So they've got her in a machine to try and read through her memories because they're looking for something in particular. And it's just like the footage of her flashbacks with the voiceover of Ben Mendelsohn.
Very Assassin's Creed-y, like with the Animus.
Oh yeah,
played that. It's like going through her genetic memories,
and they're like, "Where are we?"
Yeah,
they go back a bit, and then like they flash, like they're
forward.
trying to find
Too
like
far
food
back.
memories. Yeah, too far when she's a kid, like falling when she's when she's at training to try and get into the Air Force. All the good time she has with her friend. What's her name? Thingy Rambo. Let me just get up. Get up the cast list. That's what I'll do. Because, professional.
What is her name? What's her name? What's her name? Maria
Rambo, yeah.
Maria. did that mean? Only...
Lashana Lynch, yeah, that's what. I knew it was in there somewhere. So yeah, basically, all the stuff that's happening to her, like them, her being mates, then cuts back to the airplane hangar because they're going to fly in some tech by Dr. Wendy Lawson.
But who is this Dr. Lawson?
But that's the woman that you see in the dream at the beginning and who she sees as the Supreme Intelligence. So they're saying, so they're controlling her like in the memories, like look at her jacket, focus. They learn her name, Dr. Wendy Lawson. They track her through her memories to the crash that you see at the beginning. Like, you don't see all of it; you see parts
of the crash
before she wakes up suddenly. So you know that she was heading for something, like in the ship with Dr. Lawson, and then so she's awake. She's hanging upside down. They've got like this beam going into her head to try and draw out her memories. She then escapes by using her hands to like explode out of her restraints. Still has the metal bits on for a while. She like beats them all up, and then before having enough energy to blast them off, which breaks the ship. Then she jumps in an escape pod that's shot at and crash lands on
C-53.
Yeah. Is it C-53?
Yeah, planet C-53. Yeah, it is C-53.
Oh, cool. Yeah, which is Earth, and she crashes through the roof of a Blockbusters. Because it's 1995, and
indicating that it's in the past.
That's really depressing. That is a that's a historical like
thing,
reference point now. It's like Blockbuster. It's like
what was I give it?
So old.
Give it another 10 years. It might be HMV.
Atlas Bronshaw. And
is he the other assassin?
Other people, yeah, and
Space Corps.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, then I'm just reading names. So yeah. And so she, crash lands on there. Goes to Radio Shack, builds a out of the technology there, builds a way to communicate with Yon Rocket back with the Kree. And while she's, they say stay there, we'll come get you. Because she knows that Dr. Lawson would be on Earth, and so she's going to look for her, try and find out what she's looking for, and also try and find out about her past. So yes, and then. Who should come and knock in on the old phone booth? But
Samuel L. Jackson
himself. Nick Fury. That CGI was amazing.
It was. He looked so natural.
Just looked like they've taken him out of Pulp Fiction, just dropped him in. Clark Gregg a bit more iffy, but he's not in a lot of it. So
he looked like an Alton.
He looked a bit like he was sort of a video game character, sort of a bit of Uncanny Valley there, and he's sort of like, I did not. So yeah, so she's explained herself, obviously doesn't believe it because saying she's from space and, the shape-shifting aliens. Until one of them shoots at them, she pushes Nick out of the way, fires at him, then proceeds to give chase, leading Fury and Coulson to get in the car, like, follow her. Ends up with the train scene, famous from the trailer, where she goes in. You see the Stan Lee cameo?
Yeah.
Reading the Mallrats script.
Which is, I didn't know the behind-the-scenes story, but, when you told me, it makes that cameo more...
Means more, because especially if you see Kevin Smith's Twitter, because, you got to come out of it saying,
oh, God.
He came out of it, was, all the years I spent referencing movies, and now they're referencing me. And they said, if I'm in the MCU, though, did I survive the snap? But that was cool, because then it's around that time that would have been making Mallrats, so that's pretty good. And, continue to go through the train, then you get the bit from the trailer where it's the old lady, because...
Who's a Skrull as well.
He sims the look of the old lady because he bumped into her on the train to try and disguise herself, have the fight.
Who's a ninja.
Yeah, then jumps out onto the roof of the train where the fight continues. All this time, Nick and Coulson are giving chase in the car. As the fight's reaching its climax and at the station, I think she loses him or something, and then Nick gets a call on the radio saying, "Sir, it's Stephen Coulson. I'm still at the Blockbuster. Where did everybody go?" And that Coulson was a Skrull, and they have a fight, and he purposely crashes into a bus sideways so that it kills the Skrull, which he then wakes up with a dead Skrull, takes that back to S.H.I.E.L.D. Covers it up with his jacket.
Official S.H.I.E.L.D. business.
Stay back. But his eyes red, and I was like, oh, is that how he's going to lose his eye? And it's no. Gets back to S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's only half the story.
Gets back to S.H.I.E.L.D. HQ. They...
Project Pegasus.
No, it's not yet.
No.
So they've done the autopsy on the alien. His boss is there saying, obviously, if this is true, you can't trust anyone. So he says he's going to go and try and find Veers,
Yeah,
you know, that's what her name is for now.
But then you see Shield boss go up to his dead body, and he's
safe journey to the beyond, my friend.
Yeah.
So he's a Skrull undercover as the boss of Shield.
That's basically everyone in this film. You got to watch out and be.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the double bluff. It's like,
because is he good? Is he not real? Is he a Skrull? You know, you sort of have that going throughout the film. Anyone could be a Skrull.
Captain Marvel finds the piece of Skrull tech that gives her information of like what they were looking at in her head, like the bar she used to hang out with. So she thinks that that's a place to go. So she logs on an internet cafe, finds the address before AOL disconnects her thing.
Things like that are fun.
The detail that was wicked. Like dial up again. So then she checks on the map, steals a man's motorcycle, was flirting with her, steals some clothes. And Fury's like, I got word on a motorcycle thief that fits her description, so they know they're heading roughly to the same place. They end up at Pancho's bar. When she walks in, she sort of has flashes of memory. She knows like she's been there before, but she just can't figure
out why.
Because she doesn't know why she's got all these memories. Then Nick walks in and says like, they have a discussion, and she says like, how do I know you're not a Skrull? It's like, you want to get personal. And they have to say stuff. And I like the first thing he says. It's like, where were you born? Like he says it, he goes, but technically I don't remember that part.
Yeah. It's Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah,
but technically I don't remember that part.
Yeah. What was your name? Your first pet? Mr. Snoofers. Mr. Snoofers. That's what I said. Mr. Snoofers. And then she says like, because we learned that Skrulls can only simulate recent memories. They can't simulate anything past a certain point. So, and then she says, give me a detail about something so bizarre that no Skrull could replicate. If toast is cut diagonally, I can't eat it.
Yeah.
You didn't need that, did you? No, but I enjoyed it.
Toast cut diagonally. I mean, I get him on that one, I agree.
Yeah, and he then says, prove to me you're not a Skrull, and she just shoots the jukebox. Well, how do I know? Well,
Skrulls can't do that.
That's a proton blast. Skrull can do that. Okay. So then they go on, because she knows that he'll know where Pegasus is, they drive to Project Pegasus.
I like how he's in S.H.I.E.L.D., but they don't do aliens, because he doesn't believe her at all at this point.
Yeah, because he says, like, well, he starts to believe her, like, after he sees the Coulson Skrull.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that. Because he says, like, after being in the army and then being a spy in the Cold War, saying, like, and then go to S.H.I.E.L.D., trying to figure out where the enemies are coming from next, didn't realise they'd be coming from above. So they go to Project Pegasus, discover that Wendy Lawson died.
Good old Dr. Lawson.
There's a funny bit where they escape from the security room. Fury calls in the the rest of S.H.I.E.L.D. for backup. They find out in the files that it was all redacted because her Lawson's plane crashed, took down a pilot as well. It was dead. Like there's no trace of the evidence in that. But in the file, she sees a picture and it's got her in it. So she starts to have more flashes of like, where, like, what am I? Where, like, what am I doing? What is my past?
Who am I?
Yeah, who am I?
She pulled McGann's it.
She pulled McGann's it. I would have loved it if she'd pulled McGann's it.
Who am
I? I am Bill Parts. No, she does that thing. She'll turn up, and obviously with the disguised boss who says like, they set up the thing, goes, people only call me Fury, they never call me Nick. And like gets in the lift, and the boss
says, nice job, Nicholas. Yeah,
and so he immediately knows that's a Skrull. There's a bit of a fight. Captain Marvel comes back for Nick after originally leaving him. Coulson lets them escape while looking for him because he says, "New guy doesn't hate me yet." And we've met Goose the cat.
Yeah.
The girl cat.
Bracket cat.
That Fury like, so they escape on the quad jet, the predecessor to the Avengers Quinjet.
The quad jet.
And they fly away and find out that Goose is stowing away because he keeps, for some reason, following Captain Marvel.
The funniest scene in the film is her.
Yeah, like they just hear him meowing because they're like pulling up, like climbing, and they just see the cat pinned against this box, just going. Aah! So they level out. They fly to her friend's house, the last person to see alive, Maria Rambeau, who lives there with her daughter. And through that, they have like a conversation. She says like, "I'm not who you think I am," because obviously she doesn't remember any of the what has happened. But she knows there's something in there. They talk, they connect. The daughter has a box full of pictures. The random exposition photograph table scene. Yeah, you've always wanted to be a pilot. You never go along with your parents. That's the only thing that's sort of like, I get it if she's amnesia because you'd have to explain to her, but it just seems a bit like, this is us filling in the plot. with
Yeah,
a
a
bit of
little
exposition.
bit. Yeah, I get. Yeah.
So then she knows all these things. She doesn't remember it fully yet, but she knows that there's stuff in there. The Skrull General Talos turns up with one of his with his science guy, who they say like, we've got this audio file from the black box. We just need you to help deciphering these coordinates because so basically it's like, we just need your help with this. So that she listens to the file, and it gives her the final like flash of like remembering everything.
And it all comes together.
Yeah, so it's her in the cockpit with Lawson. They were flying like above atmosphere, and then they're attacked by these ships that we don't see. Who's fighting them until it crashes, gets shot down. Lawson's heavily injured. She discovers that she's Kree.
Mm-hmm.
She was known as Marvel, which is from the comics, the original Captain Marvel that tutored and sort of was the mentor to Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel. Crash and says, I need to destroy this core before they get there. Is shot, and then through the fog we see not the Skrulls from the dream, but Jude Law's Yonrog and the Kree Star Force, because she was using that technology she was building to end the war.
Yeah.
But so she discovered that the Skrulls just want a home they would be in, sort of.
I always imagined though that like the only reason I've heard of the Skrulls is, have you played Marvel Ultimate Alliance? Randomly, just a random.
I played it a bit, yeah.
Well, Skrulls are villains in that. I've always heard in the comics they're villains of Fantastic Four, and I imagined the Kree being like the goodies. But this film does the opposite. Like, I thought the Skrulls were the villains, only to find out the Kree were the baddies. I was baffled, but I accepted it because Jude Law was a prick. There was something about Jude Law I didn't like in that film. Like,
and plus, and if you know that Yonrog is a villain, so it's like.
But that's the thing, I don't know about Captain Marvel. Really?
So you find out that he's the villain. She shoots the core, the engine of the ship, which explodes, which leads you back to how the beginning of the movie, the dream she saw, which was actually just visions of her past. The engine explodes, and the energy goes into her, gives her Captain Marvel powers.
Hence how she becomes Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and so she remembers everything and agrees to help take the Skrulls to the coordinates on the ship, to the laboratory, to save his people, because that's what Marvel was doing. She was trying to help just find the Skrulls a new home. So they decode it. It's in orbit in space, so they make changes to the jet, fly up Fury, Marvel, Maria Rambeau, Talos, and Goose. They fly up. There's the Kree. They land. Jude Law's Yonrog is there, meets Captain Marvel in the shed, and they have a brief discussion, like trying to prove that they're real, until he realises that it's a Skrull, shoots him and says, so she knows, and then like goes after her. They meet on the laboratory in the orbit in space, find the whole family of Skrulls that are left, find the core that they were talking about is the Tesseract.
Dun dun dun.
MacGuffin time. And they.
The big connection to all of it.
Yep. So while they're trying to hide that, the Kree come, they plug her back into the Supreme Intelligence, but it's that moment of like, she keeps like, remember like who you were before we found you, and all that, trying to put her down, but she just remembers getting back up, so she just gets back up and just uses her power gets stronger and stronger. She starts glowing, and then she takes the chip out of her neck, says, what happens if I'm finally set free? Then unleashes all of her power, like explodes out of it, takes down the Kree that are trying to kill her friends and the Skrulls, draws them off for a fight by distracting it, and says, like, tries to give Tesseract to Nick. Like, I'm not touching that, and then we find out that Goose, the cat, is a Flurkin, the big tentacle monster from
an Ood. It's an Ood cat.
The big tentacle thing from the comics. He's Tesseract. They take him, get their Skrulls in the ship, to fly back. She's having a fight with them. They find out they've got the Tesseract, the Kree, chase after them, trying to shoot them down. She unleashes her full power and just kicks ass. He's already summoned Ronan, the Accuser from Guardians, and the other Accusers try and bomb the Skrulls out of Earth. She takes one of their ships down. Just a big, star explosion and shit. They're like, we'll be back for the weapon.
For the woman.
The core? The woman. and they disappear. And she, they have a re-sparring match, her and Jude Law. Like, he's doing the monologue thing, and she just blasts him into a rock.
Yeah, because he's like, come on.
This is the day. This is when you can finally knock me down. This is that time.
This is when you keep your emotions in check. This is when...
My name is Carol. She drags him back to the ship, sends a message back to the Kree homeworld saying she's coming to end it, all the lies, everything. Sends him off, and then agrees to take the
scrolls to find them a
go
home.
with the scrolls to find them a new home, and so
which is used as her excuse as to why Fury's not contacted. Yeah,
and she ups the range of his pager with a bit of Kree tech. So
couple thousand galaxies.
Yeah, the range is a couple galaxies at least. So only for emergencies, which is the pager we saw that he reaches for in his bag at the end of Infinity War. And so she flies off like with them into deep space, says goodbye to her friends, like having all of her memories back and being Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel.
Being both at once.
And so she leaves, and then we have Nick Fury. But Nick lost his eye because Goose, the Flurkin cat, scratched it out.
A bloody cat.
But when you see him in Shield headquarters and he's back with Coulson, he goes, "Sir, is it true that the Kree carved out your eye because you refused to tell them where the Tesseract was? I won't either confirm nor deny the facts of that story." Comes in with a thing of plastic eye saying, "You've got to make a big decision.
Here's a whole plate of eyeballs."
It's like, you haven't found the Tesseract." He just looks at Goose the cat like, "I'm sure it'll turn up." And then he's making the plans for the
Protector Initiative.
But
then looks back at the reference photo of Carol Danvers. Carol Avenger Danvers.
Yeah.
And he goes,
the Avenger Initiative, which is what he... At the end of Iron Man,
and then it's phase 1.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Because it's only in Avengers Assemble he goes, "Time to move to phase 2," and it's like very much because at the end of Iron Man, obviously, he goes, "I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative."
Yeah,
because they say that there are bigger threats than they will ever know, and they need more heroes because she's gone. Like they don't know when she'll be back or if she'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
So and. Does that, and then it's the first credit scene, which is picks up right from the end of the Infinity War end credit scene with
kind of the prologue
the pager.
Kind of, yeah.
It's basically a scene straight from Endgame, really, isn't it? Like the pager cutting out, and it's in the Avengers facility. You can see Scarlet Witch and Captain America checking the population over 3.5 billion unaccounted for or missing.
Damn.
They get Rhodey coming in saying that thing stopped whatever it was doing. And you got Bruce Banner there as well. Like we don't even know what this signal's sending. They're just like, reboot it, send it again, let me know what's happening there. And they turn around and Captain Marvel's in the Avengers facility. She just goes, "Where's Fury?" And cut.
Damn.
And then you wait all through the credits, and Goose vomits the Tesseract onto Nick Fury's desk. So that explains how they got the Tesseract and had it for the original things in Phase 1. Thoughts on this movie, Connor?
Like you said at the very beginning, wasn't expecting much going into it. It was basically a phase 1 film shoved into this phase.
Which is a good change of pace, but also when you see how much they've done.
Yeah, but it was also, with the plot and everything, it was a bit discombobulated, being that we were her trying to figure out her past.
But that's the best way to do it, 'cause then it was like Memento-ish. Like, it was in the wrong order, so you found it out.
As you went along.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Good film. The cat was the best character.
Oh, Goose, yeah.
Goose was amazing.
And
because you told me literally 5 minutes before the film started, like, oh, Goose is a thing in Captain Marvel, and I was thinking, it's going to be like Howard the Duck type cameo. I thought it was going to be a one-off-ish.
Yeah, it's a mainish character in the run of comics.
Well, I didn't know.
Even though called Chewie.
Chewie.
Because Star Wars is our favourite film, so that's why it's called Chewie. But then, because it's such an ode to Top Gun, this movie, and with the fly, and
they
calls it Goose. Yeah. Which is fine. It's still a great cat.
Mm.
It's a film for cat lovers.
I was just expecting a Howard the Duck type cameo, and the next thing you know, the cat's like one of the biggest plot arcs in the whole MCU.
Yeah, the greatest character development in Phase 3.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not as bad as people, because some people have ranged from it's amazing and the best one ever. It's not. It's definitely upper tier. I would say, for me, after seeing it again, it's a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Whereas then you've got your Civil Wars, your Captain America Winter Soldiers, your Infinity Wars that are 9, 10 out of 10s. It's definitely mid to high tier. It's not middle of the road. It's not like the average ones where you feel like Ant-Man 1 was a bit sort of just
Yeah, no.
and stuff like that. It's great.
It was basically Ant-Man and the Wasp, but somewhat of a more important scale.
Oh yeah, and it doesn't feel like a massive scale story because it's just literally contained to that little thing and just trying to. At the end of the day, just trying to save the Skrulls, and they introduce them well, and hopefully they're used effectively in future stories and adaptations.
But then, what would you want after this in Phase 4? Would you want Avengers versus X-Men or Secret Invasion?
I'd like a Secret Invasion with the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and with the Skrulls again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to see how that would work out. I'd say solid 8 out of 10 for this movie. Brie Larson's having a lot of fun. Samuel L. Jackson is great. The bits you see of the whole of Clark Gregg and that, I think they're okay. Obviously he looks a bit strange, but that whole aspect has to be in there, so it's done well enough.
Yeah, it's
her friends and her her workers and that. They're great characters. They're really sort of fleshed out. You really get to know them and stuff, even with weird exposition photo scene.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot more that can be done in the sequel, and I'd be more than happy to see one.
Yeah,
I like the
more the merrier.
I like how it's the bait and switch for the villains, and the Skrulls are actually good. Ben Mendelsohn is great. He's having a lot of fun as Talos. You think this whole time, just stereotypical evil guy, but he's just trying to save his family.
Yeah.
And Jude Law, I think, was great, and the rest of that gang of misfits, and even the brief stuff you see of Ronan, all just ties it together.
It really does into one sweet little bow.
It does.
Bow ties are cool.
So go and see
Captain Marvel.
8 out of 10. What would you give it?
An 8 as well, I think. Yeah,
yep.
An 8.
Cool.
Yeah,
we're in agreement.
All right.
Shall we move on to the main feature? 46 minutes in.
Winter is coming.
Winter is here. Oh wait, no, you're not
is
there.
it? No,
not there yet.
No. When does that get said?
Not yet.
Season 7.
7 seasons in 7 weeks.
Season 3.
Season 3. Connor.
Yes.
Lead with this, because this is the last season you remember. What are your thoughts going back into this season?
Going back into it.
So,
we're
in the Game of Thrones section now, guys. If you haven't, for some reason, seen Game of Thrones Season 3, what are you doing? Go back and rewatch it, and then watch these podcasts up until the release of Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Season 3, come on, go!
Red Wedding. I actually want to talk about the Red Wedding.
I
want to talk about the Red Wedding. Season 3. Going into it, I kind of, it took me about 20 minutes of the first one to sort of go, oh yeah, this happened, and oh yeah, that happened, and Tyrion had a scar on his face. How did he get a scar on his face?
Yeah.
But then, it then sort of just came together bit by bit in my head, and I realised that Tyrion had a fight, and in the previous season, the Battle of
Blackwater Bay.
The Battle of what?
Blackwater Bay.
Blackwater Bay, yeah, that's right.
When Stannis tries to invade and they send out the wildfire.
Yes. What he said. Tyrion has scars, the first thing I noticed. Cersei's still yeah, exactly. That's what I noticed. Characters basically same old. What kind of happened though? What was the first thing that made me go, oh, I must watch this? I don't think it was until say episode 3 or 2.
No, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's have the plot.
Well, that's the thing. That's the problem with Game of Thrones. You have to watch all the episodes to find out the plots for everyone, because you've basically got Daenerys doing her thing, you've got Jon Snow doing his thing, you've got so and so doing his thing, Rob doing his thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we do. That's what we're gonna do.
But we can't talk about it episode 1. This happened. This
no,
happened.
I'm doing
we
it.
have to talk about
doing it area by area.
Character arcs.
I do it place by place. You know this.
Also,
all my iPads.
Let's get Daenerys out of the way. Let's get Daenerys out of the way.
Let's not.
No.
Let's do it. Well, she doesn't have a lot to do again this season.
Well, not as much, no.
No, let me just find the thing.
Yeah, she don't really do a lot until the halfway. No.
She has bits and pieces. There's episodes here and there, but when this fucking loads.
I'm trying to think who had the best character arc. Who had the best thing?
Rob.
Oh
okay, here we go.
It was his last.
Here we go. Episodes.
You're on.
Season overview. Season 3. Okay, so.
Right, we're in business.
Season 3 was 2013, so.
Yeah.
It doesn't do the bit with the plot. So basically,
just skim through
I'm going to skim through it and sort of it. So we pick right up with Samuel Charlie and the Night's Watch.
Aye.
Because he saw the White Walkers at the end of season 2. Like they walked past him and left him there. So Sam returns to the wall to warn them
of the White Walkers and the wildlings.
And John obviously was captured, so he's brought before Mance Rayder, the king beyond the wall. Pledges a loyalty to the wildlings. So spending a lot of time with Ygritte, learns of their plans to do that. So basically, his story is start with John because we're in the north.
Yeah, no. We're in the north. King of the north.
North remembers, and so John spends a lot of time with the wildlings, sort of like learning their ways, like being abused a lot because he's obviously a crow.
A crow.
Falls in love with Ygritte, has sex with her in a cave.
Intercourse. Yeah.
First time he lays with her because they
breaks his vows. And
you're mine and I am yours. Yeah, because obviously it's to prove like you're not a crow anymore.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Like prove yourself.
They get it on. They get it on.
They do in a cave, and they like become like a couple. There's people that still don't trust him.
Because he's a crow.
They scale the wall.
Yeah, the wall.
Yeah, do all that, don't they?
And they actually reach the top, and there's that nice.
There's a bit of the thing like the
reflection.
It cracks, like falls, and because he met Tormund at the end of last season.
Oh, Tormund, he will.
Goes all the way up the wall, nearly falls off. Manages to save himself and Ygritte. And
gets cut off though. Almost cuts him off.
Yeah, almost cuts him off. That's thingy though. The guy was in Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't remember his name.
Oh no, do I? Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's that.
Muppet.
Yeah, so John doesn't really have a lot to do. They cross over the wall. They're in the north. They find a. Yep. Okay. They find the old man that supplies the horses for the wall. Because he breeds the horses and then gives them to the Night's Watch, and they just like steal his horses, and then they decide like they need to kill him, but they try and make John do it to prove like
he's a wildling,
to prove he's one of them, but he can't do it. So then he runs off, and then he's found later on by Ygritte.
They have the little
and he's like, I need to go home now. Like I need to, because like they know that the White Walkers are coming, and there's something coming for them all.
Yeah.
So he rides, gets no talks to ride, she shoots him with arrows 3 times.
I know you won't hurt me, Ygritte.
I know you won't hurt me, Ygritte. I love you and you love me. Yeah, that's that.
You know nothing, John. I know some things.
Yeah. So that's that. He also meets a warg. You know, a man
warg.
Can take on other animals through their eyes and stuff like that, which we learn that Bran is as well.
Yeah, magical voodoo stuff that is.
Yeah, so that's John's arc. So Bran, still on the move with the Reed siblings and Mira and Jojen Reed, Osha the Wildling, and Rickon and Hodor, and obviously the 2 direwolves. So they're carrying on their journey, trying to get to. Well, they were originally trying to go to the wall to find John. But Jojen says he's not there. We need to go beyond the wall and find the 3-eyed raven. So it continues their journey.
Yeah. Because he has some more weird voodoo stuff.
They intersect a lot. Yeah, because he finds out that he's a warg as well. There's a point where they're at the same place where John and the wildlings are, and they Bran decides to keep Rickon safe. That he sends Rickon with Hodor and Osha and the wolves to get.
John.
To get to John and stay safe.
Yeah.
Or to go to the Umbers. Yeah, to the Umbers, the bannermen of the Starks. They'll be safe. They'll look after you. We're going to go north of the wall, him, Jojen and Mira. So that's that's sort of he has a pretty light journey. There's not a lot that he's doing, yeah. But there's a big sweet moment where Rickon doesn't want to leave him, but they have to. Because Bran's just trying to keep him safe, because they also run in to Sam, who tells them there is stuff. There is stuff north of the wall that's out there. It's really dangerous. Because he offers to take him to Castle Black to see it with John, but
he goes no.
He goes no.
He's a complicated little kid.
It's not that I want to. I need to find the 3-eyed raven, and the dragon glass that Sam found at the end of season 2 in the Fist of the First Men, buried under the snow.
Oh, yeah.
Dragon glass knife. He gives one to Bran and says that seems to work against White Walkers.
Yeah, here.
Because we move on to Samwell Tarly.
who meets.
Because they're pretty short story arcs.
They kind of are. That's the. I find that with even the ones I watch in 1 and 2, they are quite short.
Yeah, they have the one that's sort of like, they're just about. They're still there, just to let you know that they're about. But
Exactly, they're still alive. They're around.
So John's back in the north, the other side of the wall, going home.
Yeah.
Bran's going the opposite way. He's going north of the wall. Rickon's heading to the Umbers. Sam made it back to Craster's Keep.
Yes,
Because they were doing a raid north of the wall. And they're with Craster, the man that marries his daughters and has more daughters and kills his son.
14 wives or something.
Yeah, kills his sons in the snow and blah blah blah.
Weird guy.
Finds Gilly, the one that he fancied, the one that had the baby. Finds her.
Gilly.
But I look Craster's Keep. There's a bit of an uprising between the Night's Watchman, Jorah Mormont, the father of Jorah, the Lord Commander. Tries to stop it, but is stabbed and betrayed in mutiny and left for dead. So the rest of the Night's Watch, not all of them are there. A lot of them are still north of the wall. So Sam takes Gilly and the unnamed baby.
Yeah.
Starts taking himself to try and get him back to Castle Black.
Who gets named Sam?
So
Sam.
cute. They learn a lot about each other along the way. He talks about his dad being abusive, but he says not as abusive as yours, because obviously he had you and then married you and then had a kid with you. But his dad just hated him, which is I hate Randall Charlie. What a bastard! They get back to Castle Black, and Master Raymond says that she can stay there as a guest for the time being.
Yeah.
So that's where they end up. Not a lot happens up north, really, because it's all going on down south. Shall we talk about what's happening with Theon? Big season for Theon. He becomes Rick. So he was captured after the siege of Winterfell. Roose Bolton had sent his bastard son Ramsay Snow. Had captured him. Had tricked Theon into thinking that he'd escaped and learnt. But he did that. It was very sly to learn all about him.
Very was. Yeah.
And then comes back, and so he knows all these things, knows his weak points.
He seems so nice.
Ties him back up, and then starts playing games with him. He's torturing him. He starts flaying his little finger, getting the skin off, his little finger. By asking him questions if he's right, trying where are we? Who am I?
Yeah, he's if you're right, I'll let you go.
Yeah.
But then you forgot to ask the most important question.
Am I a liar?
Yeah, am I a liar?
So he starts flaying it, and he says the point of the game is you win if you can guess, I win if I can. The pain is so immense that you would rather I cut off your penis.
Yeah.
And then he gets to a point where because he's lying, he's literally you see him peeling the skin off of his butt, and he's no, cut it off. So then he does that. He torments him beforehand by giving him he brings in
women,
prostitutes from the brothel, so he knows what he's losing and stuff like that. And then literally when it's all getting a bit interrupts, literally cuts him off. Yeah. So were you busy? And then cuts it off, sends it to Balon Greyjoy, his father, in a box. It says, if you do not call off your men, because obviously they were started pillaging because the Starks had marched south to fight the war. So the Greyjoys were taking what was theirs. Said if you do not stop pillaging, call your men back. Anyone I find will be flayed. Flay their skin off until just as he'd flayed the men who had already been sent out, he'd killed them all. And saying that if you do not cooperate each cycle, you'll by the cycle of the moon, then you'll receive more boxes with more pieces of Theon. Yeah. And his dad says, well, he's not a man anymore, get out of my...
well, he's not a Greyjoy.
Yeah, and his sister Yara's but he's still your son, and she takes a ship.
And says, screw you, Dad.
I think it's 50 of it, the finest killers, so she's going to try and find him and
the
get him
quickest
back.
ship, the fastest ship.
Yeah, and she's going to get him back. He's tortured. He goes through a lot of crap, and is obviously renamed Reek. Because Theon is a lord's name. You're not a lord anymore. You stink. You reek. Reek is your name.
No,
and then beats him up
and
beats him into submission until he admits that his name is Reek.
I'm Reek.
And thus begins like, I feel sorry for Theon.
Oh, Theon.
But he brought it on himself by being a mark. But
Yes,
the thing that I really sort of like is when he's talking to Ramsay and says, like, you know, like, I did all this to impress my father, but my real father died at King's Landing when he had his head cut off, proving that he does show guilt and remorse for betraying Ned and the Stark boys.
Yeah.
But always felt like he didn't belong.
Yeah, that's before the Ramsay twist. Yeah, that's when he's getting to know him. Yeah.
Which he does very slyly so he could slice and dice on chicken fried rice. But yeah, that's all sort of... The Grey don't really have anything else to do. Balon and Yara don't really do anything else that season. I know they're trying to
They don't try to grab each other.
Yeah. Pillage and, like, they're still taking land up north while the Starks, we're going to leave them till last.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Please do.
Should we talk about Jaime and Brienne?
Okay, yep.
So still on their journey after Catelyn said to Brienne to take Jaime back to King's Landing in exchange for the Stark girls, because she did this behind Rob's back because she just wants her children back. Fair enough.
Who wouldn't?
She's a mother.
You're looking out for her flesh and blood.
Yeah, and she has a kinder heart than Rob, and she sort of doesn't... none of them want this warfare, really, but they're all sort of like, no one can back down, so she's trying to make that call just purely for, like, she just wants her kids back. She doesn't care about this war, who sits on the throne, she just wants her girls back. Fair enough. Jaime and Brienne go on a bit of a rough ride, get captured by
bit of a hog,
Bolton's bannermen, like from House Bolton. While they're on their journey back to King's Landing, taken to, I forget where it is. It's like one of the only things I've forgotten. But and then it says, like, but Bruce Bolton, who is a bit of a shifty fucker.
Oh, he is, to say the least.
Like, he's been by Rob's side and knows where Rob is, and just sent Ramsay to get, obviously, to get Theon. So now has Jaime Lannister, and instead of giving him back to Rob as a prisoner, says that I will set him free as long as your father knows that I had no part of this. But Brienne has to stay here with these boys.
That's right. Yeah.
And the Dreadful.
Yeah, Dreadful. As I say, yeah. So many names.
There's so many. They're in here. I know it.
Yeah.
So Jaime gets sent away with one of the knights from the Bolton household. Brienne is left there. But Jaime turns back
and gets her
and goes back to get her because she's in a bear pit. They're making her fight a bear with a wooden sword. And
That's right. Yeah.
And he says to the man, like, he says to the guy that's taking him, like, I can go back and tell him that you're the reason I lost. Oh yeah. Forgot that to teach him a lesson for, like, because he keeps, like, trying to use his father for bargaining, saying, like, when my father hears, like, saying, all you have to say is when you need to remember who you are. This should help you remember.
Yeah, coins
and cuts
off his hand.
Cuts off Jaime's right hand, and he's right-handed, and he fought with his right hand. And for him, that's all he was that right hand. Like, that was who he was. He fought.
He was the right hand man.
Yeah, he literally was. Not anymore. So they've cut off his hand, and he says to the guy that's taken him back to King's Landing without Brienne, like, the first thing my father's going to say is, like, what happened to his hand? And I can either say that it was all down to you, or I can say this man saved my life. And that's if you come back with me. And I get her. He jumps in the bear pit.
He does.
With her, like, get behind me, and then so that soldier then starts using a crossbow on the bear. Like, as they try and escape, like, climb out the pit, like, hoisting each other up, saying that you need to keep him alive to take him back home. So, and then he takes Brienne with him back to King's Landing. He eventually, that's sort of it, really, isn't it? He gets back to King's Landing, like the last episode.
He does, and just stands by Cersei's door.
Sees Cersei. And she looks up, sees his hand, and then that ends for him. That's, yeah.
His hand like that.
Why don't you buy yourself a gold hand and go yourself with it? Which he does.
Jaime, what, he gets a new hand?
He gets a gold hand.
Gold hand?
Yeah. Because he needs to look like he's got.
I was expecting episode 6 Luke Skywalker black hand.
What is the glove? Well, no, because it can't move. It's literally just like made of metal and just like sort of like.
Yeah, I was expecting one of them.
Clips on the stump and like that. So he finally gets back. Brienne does as well, because he says that he needs to keep a promise to them to get the Stark girls back alive, because that was her oath, and he will help her fulfill it. Because they've become friends and have a respect for each other. Because after his hand getting cut off, he gets like very depressed and feels like he's got nothing more, because he was that hand. Brienne says, "You're getting a taste of what it's like for people to have stuff taken away from you. It doesn't end like this for you."
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And they realise that they are firm
It's
friends.
karma. It's karma.
So yes, so she'll get back and she'll obviously get paid or something.
Yeah.
King's Landing. So while we're here,
Are we doing what? Joffrey, Marjorie?
Joffrey, Marjorie, Sansa, Tyrion, I think.
Yeah, so them four. Okay.
Okay, so obviously now Marjorie is betrothed to Joffrey.
Yes, she's going to become queen.
Cersei doesn't trust her though, does she?
Oh, she just doesn't trust anyone.
Because
Anyone
she's
that's not
manipulative. She knows how
anyone
to.
that's not a Lannister is an enemy.
She knows how to do it, but Tyrion says, "Well, that's good. You should have learned how to control them years ago because he gets what he wants. He keeps killing people from the brothels.
He's a
killing the
monster.
prostitutes. Yep.
He's a monster.
So they're engaged to be where she is taking toys to orphanages to make them sort of like Joffrey's name, sort of doing a lot for him PR wise, really, to make him look better because she will be queen and it looks like it's both of them making an effort, that sort of thing. While Sansa was originally going to be made to marry Loras
Tyrell.
Loras House Tyrell to be because her and Marjorie struck a friendship and she wants to take her
with him.
Sansa with her.
Yeah.
Even though they know that Loras is gay, so they start planning the wedding until Tywin Lannister intervenes.
Good old Charles Dance.
Saying that because obviously if Robb dies and they are under the impression that Bran and Rickon are dead because of what Theon did burning the orphans. And no sign of Arya, and Sansa being older anyway, that Sansa Stark is the key to Winterfell. So they feel like the Tyrells are trying to take that from under their nose, so agree to have Sansa marry Tyrion.
Yeah.
In a wedding that they try to...
They don't want. Neither party wants.
No, but it's good for Tyrion, sees it as he can protect Sansa from the spitefulness, especially of Joffrey, and he... because the whole wedding is them just taking the mick and just trying to make it help for Tyrion,
just getting drunk,
taking away his steps so he can't because you have to bring them under your protection with the cloak.
The cloak, that's it.
They get very drunk. They get very drunk together because she's still only quite young, and they're like, now we have to do the bedding ceremony, and Tyrion's like, no, you're not doing this, and then he threatens him, and Tywin's like,
will.
No, Tywin's like, oh, I'm sure he didn't mean it, my lord, because Joffrey's being an arsehole.
No, Tyrion, you will do
it. He even suggests that he might sexually abuse Sansa, saying I suppose it doesn't matter what Lannister puts a baby in you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll come visit you once my uncle's passed out, and you're just like, what an evil little sod.
Little shade.
You get there, you get to that, they get to bed. And he says, I won't share your bed with you, not until you want me to. He's really respectful to her, saying, I won't do anything that you don't want me to do.
He's a good little man.
Literally, and then he falls asleep on the chair. She falls asleep in the bed. They become closer through their sort of both being mocked and hated by everyone the Lannisters and everyone else. They sort of have this really close sort of friendship that's how will we punish the people that hurt us and sort of all that kind of stuff.
They just sort of tease and play around. They do. That's how they get on.
Mm-hmm. Baelish doesn't really do a lot. Varys is talking about
he's just
the
forever,
realm.
He's just forever hands up of his sleeves, going
because he's fighting for the realm. Because they were trying to get Loras and Sansa married
together,
but then Baelish sort of intervened on that, and they says that chaos is a ladder.
Chaos is a ladder.
Not many attempt to climb once they've fallen off and stuff like that, and it's like
Littlefinger intervenes because Loras hooks up with a guy who he's like a spy for Littlefinger.
Yeah, he's a spy for Littlefinger. Yeah, for the brothel. Yes, he is. Well done, well remembered. So that's so everyone's sort of playing off each other and fighting in King's Landing. Loras is then going to be married off to Cersei.
Yeah, that's right.
Because and if his grandmother doesn't agree to it, he's saying that he'll swear. Like Tywin says, I'll swear him into the Night's Watch where he can never take any children and the name will die with him. Whereas if he marries my daughter, at least something. But obviously she's too old and she's Joffrey's bloody mother. So then there's a whole bunch of incestual things going on there. Yeah, so that's sort of...
that is their arc.
That's what's happening. So Tywin's still running the kingdom.
I think this is the season though where I think I see him at his most antagonistic.
Well, Tywin.
He's the worst at the moment. Well, I mean, from what I've seen so far.
I think I'd agree, especially with what comes afterwards. He's not. I think this is when because he's obviously running the kingdom with Joffrey. He knows that his grandson is an arsehole.
He's stepping up. Yeah,
he has to do it because Joffrey's like, I want this. Who can't do it? Because he's literally just a spoiled child. There's a bit in the small council meeting where they're having an argument. You go, take the king to his chambers. He's tired.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not tired,
Yes.
father.
Not tired, grandfather.
Oh, yeah, grandfather. Yeah, I'm not tired.
Yes. So that happens. Daenerys in Essos. Okay. So she's obviously liberated.
Essos.
No, she's
she ain't
she's
Essos.
in Essos. Like
Yeah,
Essos
yeah.
is the whole. She's
just
liberated Karth and
the other one. Karth.
Karth and
yeah, I can't think of the other one.
the other one.
The other one.
But she's in Yunkai.
That's right. And then
So
she ends at the end of the season is Marine, isn't it?
End of season is them
Going to Marine.
Going to Marine, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in. She ends up in Yunkai.
She's in Astapor.
Astapor she conquers, doesn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's liberated them with the dragons. The dragons are growing. They're on a boat. They meet old Barristan Selmy, who was sent away by Joffrey in season 1 because you're too
because
old
he
to protect
was
anyone.
he was
the former
surprise
Lord Commander of the Kingsguard.
Yeah.
So another exiled knight on her side, saying that he wants to, before he dies, feel what it's like to fight for someone that he believes in, rather than because he's had to serve bad kings. And so he joins with Jorah as like part of a small council.
Mm-hmm.
As they end up in Yunkai, and
they get the Unsullied from Astapor.
Yeah, get the Unsullied from Astapor, which is the army of basically units. They cut off their genitals and
they do.
You know, so there's no worry of what they'll do. Like they can't. It's only this of being in the army. So there's like 8,000 of them. The dragons kill the slave bearers, and she takes all of those with her. So she's got an even bigger army. She marches from Astapor to Yunkai, another civilization in Essos, with a lot of slavers and slavery and all such stuff like that. She meets Dario of the second sons. Yeah, second sons. There's 3 captains she meets, and they're all trying to like just saying how much they want to like marry her and stuff like that. And
well, one of them says he wants to F her.
Yes.
And do inappropriate things.
Quite expurlatively.
Yeah.
But Dario, they have a thing where they draw a coin each, and whoever draws the coin has to kill her. And Dario draws a coin, so he has to kill Daenerys. Sneaks into her tent while she's having a bath.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I disagreed on like the
I was supposed to kill you, but
then brings the heads of the other 2 captains, saying
just
that
tosses them on the floor.
The second sons are yours to command. So joins up with her,
and vows and pledges to her.
And her, along with the army and Jorah and that, they agreed to liberate
Marine.
No, not Marine. Yunkai. That's where we still are.
Yunkai. Yeah. All right. Yunkai.
Marines
next.
Later.
Yeah,
Marines
it's the
next.
end. Yeah, it's the end.
So then that goes on to her sort of becoming more and more sort of a hardened leader, less. You know, she knows when she has to be strict, when she has to fight, who she has to make friends with, and when she has to be
trust and
everything. She knows that, like from the last decision, she knows not to trust anyone. After liberating Yunkai, they then march on to Marine. They are gonna obviously go on to Marine, but all the people that she's liberated come out and says that my freedom is not given to me. Your freedom is not given to you by me. It is only yours to take back. Like she's like trying to still be a noble leader, and they all call her, all chanting mother, and they lift her up.
Yeah,
and that's like the last shot of the series, isn't it? And it's like
nicer.
And the dragons the dragons are flying, and they'll head up to Marine next.
Yeah, that is it. I was like, okay, so season 4 is Marine.
Right. Arya Stark.
Arya.
And should we briefly touch on because that and Stannis sort of overlap, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
So Arya's still travelling with the band of brothers, like the men without banners.
Yeah, men without banners. That's right.
When they meet Thoros of Muir and Boric, what's his face? Boric with the one eye.
Boric.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
They challenge the Hound to trial by combat for his crimes of murder. When Arya and Gendry catch up to, obviously have met up with them and they're travelling with them now. So Boric and the Hound have a fight. Boric is killed, but then is resurrected by Thoros of Muir, who is
the Lord of Light.
Because the Lord of Light will resurrect whoever he chooses and who he needs in the great battle to come. Because he's not a priest. He says about being a priest because he used to believe in the old, he lost his faith, but then spoke the old words and found that his friend came back after having a lance through the heart, and he says he's come back 6 times, but each time you come back, you lose a piece of yourself. because you go to the darkness, you come back, you lose a bit of yourself each time. So he's back again after that, and they learn of this power. Before Melisandre, the Red Woman from Stannis' camp, comes looking for Gendry and takes Gendry away.
What a lady!
Saying that he's needed by Stannis
because he's got the King's blood.
Uncle. So they go off. We'll get back to them in a minute with Arya. Yeah. So she's angry that they're not sort of looking after. They're saying, "Oh, you just did that. Gave up Gendry for gold." It's like, no, it's because the Lord. Not just that. It's the Lord of Light. He needs him
for a purpose.
So we must leave him. Blah blah blah. He gets angry. She runs away. Runs into the Hound, who takes her. She thinks is back to King's Landing, but finds out that no, I'm taking you to your mother and brother, the twins, because there's a wedding that was agreed, which will come back. You might come back to that one.
Maybe. So that might be next season.
So she keeps riding. She riding with the Hound. They become like a sort of reluctant double act. Like she's trying to stop her from killing. They're trying to she kills someone that is taunting their family. She pretends to be as sweet and innocent, but then pulls him and just starts stabbing him. And that he's like, next time you do something like that, tell me first.
Tell me first.
And then he just starts eating their food, and then they carry on riding until they get to the wedding, and that's sort of basically it for Arya.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, for now.
We'll come back to her because she's got a little bit after that. But so Stannis taking Gendry because obviously bastard son of Robert Baratheon, his brother.
You're the chosen
King's
one.
blood.
Yeah.
Draw blood out of him with leeches and say names as they drop the 3 leeches. They drop them into the fire in the hopes that the Lord of Light will kill them. One of them is Robb Stark. One of them is Joffrey.
I thought Joffrey was the last one, and then there's another one.
I don't think it matters.
No. I'm just no.
So there's Robb, there's Joffrey, and there's another name that they say. I literally can't remember. You Google that.
Stannis.
Melisandre Leech. Gendry Leeches. Just Google that. Gendry Leeches. So they plan to sacrifice him to the god so that the King's blood will then, be in favour of Stannis and he'll be able to win the war.
Win the war?
To win the war. I am your soldier.
No, you're not.
That and Davos, who has been learning to read.
Davos.
Because after the Battle of Blackwall Bay, woke up on a rock, ended up back with Stannis, was then put in prison because he believes that it's just pure witchcraft that Melisandre is after, and she is turning him into a hateful man, even though he is not.
Yeah.
He's taught to read by Stannis' daughter, really cute because she gives him books and that, reads the scrolls, one of them from Sam, saying that there is something beyond the wall coming for us all, which Melisandre agrees that he has a part to play in the war to come. There is war. The real enemy is to the north. So that gets him back on side, and Davos, knowing that Gendry was about to be killed, says...
Sorry, Robb Stark, Balon Greyjoy, and Joffrey.
Oh, there you go, cool.
Yeah.
All of his enemies. He... Gendry's set free by Davos putting a boat and saying, just keep riding and then go back to King's Landing because they don't know your face, you'll be safe there.
Which he does.
Greece, yep, that's where he goes, and we don't see Gendry again for 3.5 seasons.
Oh, god damn it.
So
it's
then,
one of my favourites. I like Gendry.
Then, so Stannis obviously angry that he was going to sentence him to death until Melisandre says he has a part to play in the war with the true enemy is to the north. And
again, it's all tactics. And George, what are you doing? Oh, okay.
Just turn the light on. It's a bit dark in here now. Ooh, mints!
But yeah, it's all tactics with Melisandre and the Lord of Light.
Yep.
It's all...
She's a bitch.
Oh, but a good looking bitch.
Yeah, she keeps having sex with people. It's really, really annoying.
It is.
It's like, I'm just going to do this.
And everyone fall in love.
Yeah, so... we should get on to the main little point because...
Yes.
So Stannis, they know that there's enemies to the north. That's sort of the end of the Stannis arc, really.
To the King of the North.
So if we go to the Riverlands...
King of the North himself.
So the family had to go to the funeral of his grandfather. What's his face? Tully. Google it.
Robb Stark had to go to Thingy's funeral. Robb Stark.
Tully funeral. just do that.
Totally.
So he goes there with his mother, his new wife. What's his fucking wife's name?
No. I had it.
Begins with a T.
Tulsa or something. Not like Talissa.
Yeah, Talissa Stark. Yeah.
It's Talissa. Yeah.
Talissa Stark. Wife so breaking his vow to Walder Frey that we're gonna.
It's good old David Bradley.
Yep. So he gets Lord Karstark is one of the bannermen that's getting angry with Rob, saying that you shouldn't be marching to a funeral. It's like it's his family. Yeah, he's going. Like he has to go. Hospitality. Yeah. So go to his funeral, and his uncle Edmure, who took the who drove out the mountain from like his place. He's like Rob was like, I wanted you to chase him so that we could kill him, but now he's like gone missing that, and so to make up for that, so he's really angry about that. And Karstark keeps undermining him and kills the 2 Lannister sons that they'd captured from that raid, but they were just like young boys and they could have been used for bargaining.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes the decision to execute Karstark, cuts his head off, and then all the Karstark soldiers march home because he's lost their trust. And before he died, he'd already said, like, you lost this war the day you married that girl. Which is true, because he needed to uphold his agreement because he made a decision with his heart instead of with his head. So they carry on. They decide that they need men to replace the Karstarks that have marched home, and goes to speak with Walder Frey, the twins, because he has enough men, so he apologises for, breaking the vows and stuff like that. And then agrees to give them Edmure Tully, his uncle.
Yeah. As a wife.
Yeah, as a wife. Like, give him as a husband to one of his many daughters.
Many daughters.
Who turns out to be not one of the ugly ones when they finally get to the wedding.
The wedding.
Yes, the wedding. So, they are...
They are.
Yeah, they are married together, Edmure, and I don't remember the daughter's name, I don't really care.
Exactly.
And David Bradley's being all sort of like, we'll do this, we'll do that, everything's alright. And then, Bruce Bolton goes off, comes back, the Reigns of Castamere is being played by the band.
Yeah.
And
Catelyn, you see her face and she
like, something's not quite right because they're closing doors, and then Bruce comes in and she lifts up his sleeve and sees
armour,
he's got chainmail on. Hits him, shouts Rob just as crossbows are drawn, shot everywhere. One of the Frey soldiers stabs Talissa Stark in the stomach repeatedly, and her unborn child, hers and Rob's unborn child. She's dying on the floor. Rob shot multiple times with crossbows. Almost all of the Stark bannermen in there are dead because they've been locked in. She's under the table, takes cover, then takes Walder Frey's wife, saying like Lord Walder, enough. Yeah. And if you don't let my son just leave, just let him go, and I swear we'll forget this. And why would I do that? Because otherwise I'll cut your wife's throat. And he just goes, I'll find another.
Yeah, I'll find another. I've got plenty.
So it's like he's been shot at Rob, he's getting up to see because his wife's dead on the floor, her stomach, the unborn child's dead. The king in the north arises, and then saying you promised by all the gods that your son would marry my daughter, and basically learning that you shouldn't break a vow. And it ultimately costs Rob his life when Bruce comes up to walks up to him. One of his trusted bandmen goes,
the Lannisters send their regards.
Which was said to them by Jaime because they couldn't make the wedding. So he's literally said to Bruce, just make sure you know that. Make sure you tell Rob that the Lannisters send their regards, just in a normal way. It's uh-oh, they're gonna think that it was all down to the Lannisters. And then outside the
So wait, it wasn't down to the Lannisters.
No, it was just down to Walder Frey. Yeah, but with him saying that, it plants the seed that they think that it was the Lannisters that organised.
I see. Okay. Oh, so it was just a political tactic.
Yeah.
I see.
Using something that Jaime had actually said. Harsh way. And then because they're all outside camping, the rest of the soldiers, you see, they're being attacked, hunted, burnt. The whole camp's been burnt to the ground. They kill all the soldiers. They kill the direwolf, Rob's direwolf, Greywind, and cut his head off and sew that onto Rob's body and parade him round on a horse saying, here comes the king in the north, here comes the king in the north. Which, Arya sees just before she escapes with the Hound.
Because they sort of arrive just as that happens.
Yeah, because they kept saying, "Oh, the feast is over." It's like, doesn't sound like it's over.
Yeah, turn your car around and piss off or something.
Yeah.
He says.
And she sees Greywind die and nothing, can't do anything to save him. The Hound takes her away, saying like it's too late, we can't save them. And then they're on a journey, I think, back up north. I think so. He's going to try and take her to Winterfell just so he gets a reward for her, really. But he does care and actually want her to get home, and says like, "Yeah, I even tried to take your sister with me. You can ask her if you ever see her again." So after that, and learning the news of Robb Stark's demise, Catelyn also gets her throat cut.
It's all gives in. She sort of just sits there.
She cuts Walder Frey's wife's throat, and then it's just her throat's just cut. Look, basically, almost all the Starks dead. They find out in King's Landing, Joffrey is obviously excited by all this, saying that he's going to serve Robb's head to Sansa at his wedding
on a silver platter.
Like, his only joke is like, "No, I'm going to do that." It's like, you're such an arse. I want you to die. But alas, so obviously all the other houses learn of this and know that Sansa is now, for them, the key to Winterfell. Like, there is no enemy coming from the Stark side.
No.
But there is an enemy coming from the north and coming for them all.
From everybody.
So yeah, that's what did you think of this season of Game of Thrones, Connor?
I enjoyed it. I remember bits and bobs. I remember the end of it. Like I said, it took me a couple to really get back into it. Like I say, everyone really doesn't have a big of an arc, but I say I quite enjoyed Marjorie in this season. I enjoyed Tyrion. Felt sorry for Tyrion. Even Shay, like the prostitute he was with. I just hated Tywin more than ever. Joffrey was a little annoying. Even Jaime, I felt sympathy for Jaime. I don't know. I just liked them all really. Johnny, you agree? The only real thing I didn't really care about was the Daenerys stuff.
Yeah, Daenerys has had she's had a couple of seasons where she's not really doing.
It was only when Dally on the Hallis turned up that I thought, okay, this could be something.
Getting a bit interesting, yeah. She does have as it goes on, she will be doing more, and there will be more to come.
Yeah.
For Daenerys, Stormborn.
But I just loved Ramsay Snow as well, because although I played
He's so sadistic.
I know I love the Telltale game. I know he was already going to be a dodgy guy already, but it's just the way he is so nice and helps Theon escape, only to then bring Vault back. Yeah. He's like, well, why do we have to go through the front door? He's like, some of the men are loyal to the king and they want your head off, or something like that. He says. Yeah,
would make sense to that. Yeah,
it's just crafty.
Really strong season. One of my favourites, I'd say. Good 9 out of 10 for season 3. All the Starks, the main family, just
basically dead at this point.
Bad stuff keeps happening to them. All dead for now.
For now, ooh.
But for what happens, for how long, we do not know.
We will be back. Resurrection.
Oh yeah, we will be back.
Ned will be back. Ned will be back.
No, I wish Ned was back. But it teaches you the thing of never get too attached to anyone.
It really does with that show, especially. Like, I'm not watching shows. Some characters people like will die, but with Game of Thrones, everyone you kind of like, and nearly everyone.
Oh yes, you like this person dead. You like this person dead. You like these people dead.
And that's exactly what happened with Ned. Straight away.
Dead Ned.
Dead Ned.
Yeah, that was season 3. Season 2 is a bit of a just like sort of more story based than like
set up.
Yeah, it's a lot more set up that does have a lot of payoff in this season.
Yeah,
they're almost all like the same sort of arc.
Exactly.
For that, so I really enjoy season 3, and I think from now on it's like getting better and better and better, like in terms of scale, in terms of quality, in terms of the stories that we see. So yeah, from now on it's like I can't wait to talk about it. It's like,
I am in the unknown.
Season 1 was just like, that's cool. Like I really enjoy that Ned dies, and then like season 2 is like, thing carries on. But now it's like there is constantly like big character deaths,
moments. Yeah,
there's a lot of people die in season 4. You're going to have a lot of people that you didn't know were going to die.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I can't wait to see it.
No.
Any words on where you think Game of Thrones will go in season 4? Even though it's already happened. What do you want to see?
What do I want to see?
Yeah.
Well, not just in season 4, but overall, I want to see, like, just as a random thought, ideally, I'd want to see Jon on the throne. I think.
Maybe he'll get there. Maybe he won't. You'll have to find out.
Yeah.
On April 14th. But until then, gentle listener, you can carry on with our 7 seasons in 7 weeks.
Watch it along with us.
When next week we'll be on season 4, Connor's Unknown.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
maybe someone will be back. We don't know.
Neither will you.
There'll be new content though. New content out next week. Live action faces. But until then, where can they catch us, Connor?
In the socials, down below, link in the description, or even on the screen if you can be bothered to put them in. You will, Matt.
Yeah, it's always on the screen. So follow us at Pasty Sheep. Email us your questions. Nerd Bible Contact.
The comment section.
Shall I quickly check the email?
To like the video.
Like, comment, subscribe, share. We're on 55. We want to get to 60 as soon as. Then be on to 100.
60 this week.
That would be great. That would be bloody marvellous. Will it happen though? We don't know.
Who knows?
Shall I quickly check the email before we go?
What as well? Any cheeky likes, dislikes?
Don't dislike it unless you read. Well, you can't anymore. Well, you can. You just can't comment on it because you keep writing stupid stuff. How is Ed?
I don't know. Just not dead.
He's not dead, Ed.
Not like the other Ned. Not like Ned. I don't know. No, I can't see nothing.
No, nothing. So yeah, nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com. If you want to email us at PastySheep on Twitter, Facebook page is nearly on 100 likes. So Instagram, Twitch, Bevo, MySpace, MSN, Snapchat, the whole lot.
Everything.
Look out for us, share it, get involved. If you want a shout out, like if you've got a small business or like a Facebook page or anything that you want shouting out, hit us up. We'll do an ad read like in the middle of these videos because we need to start getting sponsorship.
Exactly.
But until then, we will see you next week. So goodbye, my dears.
Yes, children. Goodbye.
The Lannisters send their regards.